it's been a while since my last video. Um, the trip to South Carolina was very, very hard on my body, and it has taken me quite a while to recover, and I don't know that I'm really fully as recovered as I can be still. But there has been a lot going on, so I'm making this video to keep you up to date. Check out my Facebook page. There's a link in the description box, and I post there almost every day, and I've done some live streams. So if you want to follow a little more closely what's going on, go there. Or even my Instagram. I do post more frequently on Instagram as well. All right. So, one of the first things that I did after my appointment with the neurosurgeon is I called and left a message with my oral surgeon's office to schedule my jaw surgery. That was stressful for me, but God really has a way of making things turn out the way they need to. So my oral surgeon is like the best oral surgeon in North Carolina, and probably even one of the best on the East Coast. So you can imagine he doesn't have very, very many cancellations. So when we got, let's see, it was a Friday when I called them, and then Monday the scheduler called and said we just had a cancellation in March, and you can have it, but you have to pay $4,200 up front, because that is what remains after insurance. And I just sort of imploded. I cried all day. It was just so, after getting done with the neurosurgeon, and then to find out that because I don't have $4,000 laying around to put towards the surgery just to schedule it, I didn't know what to do, because it was like, I have so much pain, and yet I can't get help because we don't have that money to give. And so we did finally come up with an option for making that payment, because the thing is, I have two insurances. I have mine, and then I'm on my husband's, but they don't bill both insurances. So what will happen is they will bill my insurance. The $4,200 is what's left for me to pay for my insurance. And then after it's done, they will bill my secondary insurance, and my secondary insurance will reimburse us. But I wasn't sure if I would still get that slot, because if I didn't get into the March slot, I would have to wait until summer, July or August, when he has more openings. And then it would be an issue, because my state disability ends at the end of April. So then I will only have one insurance. And so, see, less money because Social Security disability has not started yet. Anyway, I needed it done. And I played phone tag with the scheduler, and I finally, I emailed her and I explained the situation. It's either this opening in March, which she had called a few people to see if they wanted that spot, and it's on a first come first served basis, and it was so stressful to me. And I emailed and I explained, I do it in March, or I will probably never be able to have it done. So please let me have that spot if it is still available. So yes, they gave me the spot. I want to go through now and tell you my jaw problems. So, my entire life, until maybe 10 years ago, if I had to open really wide, I basically dislocated my jaw every time. And I didn't know it wasn't supposed to be that way because it had always been that way. And so it would go ka-clunk and then ka-clunk back. And it was just the way that my mouth opened. I'm going to say about 10 years ago, maybe it was more like 9, but in that time frame, my jaw locked open. And it wasn't anything, I wasn't doing anything huge. I just laid down to go to bed and my jaw locked open. And I was like, I have no idea what to do. And I got my husband, and I am very thankful that it only lasted, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. But when it finally released and it was wobbly, it was just sort of flapping around. And it was not right. And so right away I went to my dentist, and he referred me to a specialist that was 2.5 hours away. But supposedly he's the best. And so I go to the specialist, and he had MRIs done. He told me that my discs had been, it had slid off, and that either through our work they would reattach, or they would just disintegrate. And I was with this doctor for a year. He didn't bill insurance. I had to do all that on my own. I had to pay up front. I had to take time off of work to get there when, a lot went into this. And I did physical therapy. I did everything they wanted me to do. I had 2 or 3 different types of bite splints. And it didn't help. I got to the point where he just wasn't doing anything for me except taking my money. And so I stopped going. And I just sort of gave up because that's just the way life was going to be for me. I taught music for many, 6 years like that. Intense pain and radiating and migraines, and I can't even open my mouth very wide. That's as far as I can open my mouth. And to try to sing and tell all of these little kids, open your mouth wide to sing correctly. And here I am. Anyway, so I just, I did the same thing with my knees and with my neck and with my everything, ribs and costochondritis, and you just push through. It was always, that's the way I was brought up, and I'm glad that I was, because it's life. You push through. You do what you have to do. So, when in the fall, I went to finally have a new bite splint made. I went to my daughter's orthodontist, and he did all the cutting edge technology pictures, and he knew something was really, really not right, but that it was beyond what he knew. So he actually sent mine and my daughter's imaging to a place in California that's what they do. They read the imaging and have all the knowledge. And so it came back, coronoid process. I'll try to insert some pictures. But the coronoid process is part of your lower jaw that comes up like this. It's the front part, that bone. On this side, it is so long that it goes up under my cheekbone. And causes lots of problems with nerves, and it's partially why I have the left side face droop. It's why I have that pain. And both of my discs have slid forward, but they're still there. Stupid specialist. They are still there. Just slid forward. The oral surgeon can do that when he removes my coronoid processes. It's called a coronoidectomy, and he will go in and he will take both of them off and reattach my discs. And he said that the front part it really serves no purpose in your body anymore, sort of like your appendix, where it used to do something and now it's not, you don't really need it. So he's taking those off. He's putting my discs back where they belong, and those two things will allow my mouth to open more, and it will release those muscles that hurt so bad. So this is called coronoid process hyperplasia, and it is a rare condition, of course, because that's what my body does. So I have this rare condition, and then they found out that I have Eagle syndrome, which is the styloid process that comes down. They're ligaments that come down. And this one is elongated and it's calcified, so it's like turned to bone. And this one is calcifying. It's not as bad as this side because everything's worse on my left side, but it is also calcifying. And I can feel it mostly in this side. Like, I'll lay down and it sort of clicks against things inside. I can feel, ooh, he's going to do it all at once. He's going to remove the coronoidectomy, slide back my discs, and remove these ligaments. He will have to do different incisions for my coronoid processes and my styloid. So I'll have like 4 small incisions total. And there's a lot of new stuff that goes along with this surgery because, number one, I have never had a surgery since my mast cell activation syndrome has gone crazy. And it's pretty much a guarantee that I will have a mast cell flare from the surgery. So I researched that and I got steroids to start a day or two before. I got liquid nausea medicine, which I have to try before. I have to use it twice before my surgery to see if it triggers mast cell reaction. And I sent an email to the surgery scheduler explaining, I have these rare conditions, and so I need to make sure that these things happen for me. So instead of going in 1 hour before the surgery, I need to go in 2 hours prior to surgery. 2 hours prior, I get hooked up to IV fluids. 1 hour prior, I get IV Benadryl and steroid. I've also requested that my sedation, part of my sedation includes ketamine. And I've never tried ketamine, but I've heard really great things about how it helps to control pain for at least a couple weeks. It's everybody's experience is different, but if it can hopefully give me some added pain relief, that's a really big plus. I also asked about which hospital I should go to if I need to, because my mom and I are going to stay the week. I have my surgery, and then my follow-up is a week later, and so we are staying in a hotel right there, so that if something does happen and go wrong, my surgeon will be right there instead of 5 to 6 hours away. So I am finding out which hospital is best to go to. I have requested my surgeon's cell phone and email so that if we have any questions or if something happens, I can contact him quickly, or actually my mom would contact him. I'm looking at my list because I always have a list. So I feel like it's my long list of demands, sort of maybe like how celebrities say, you need to have this and this and this for me. My bowl of green M&Ms and my water at this specific temperature, and I feel like that. I hate making. I am still not comfortable doing it, but that's what my body needs. And so the steroids, the Benadryl, the IV, that stuff is for mast cell. For pain control, I'm requesting ketamine, and I met with my pain management doctor, and we came up with a plan as far as medication. And at any time while I'm going through the healing process, if I need more pain relief, if what we have planned is not enough, then all I have to do is call her, and she will send a prescription wherever I need it. So that part is taken care of, pain control. And I have a long list of things to pack to take with me: my heating pads, ice packs, pillows, my own blankets. It's a lot to think about. When you have to start thinking about, I need my EpiPens in my lap in case I have a anaphylactic response to anything that they do. I have to be prepared for all the dislocation stuff going to be happening in there. I have to be prepared for a longer than average healing time. In fact, I hope I don't stay bruised forever, because I have a bruise on my leg that I've had for a year and a half. I can't wear makeup to cover it up. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Of hypoglycemia. So I have to, I have to think about what can I eat that has protein in it that will be easy to swallow and I don't get a reaction from. And it's a lot to think about. So I have my lists made. I'm still doing research, but I think, I'm 2 weeks away from surgery time, and I think this is about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. So that is your update for now. Where I'm heading, what has been going through my mind. Yes, I feel crazy. No, doctors don't understand. Not all doctors do. This surgery, if it's done, I'm not going to say if it's done. I know he's going to do a great job. That's why he is a top surgeon in the East Coast. It's going to be done right. If my body handles it the way that it should handle it, then I should be able to take less medications. And I've been working so hard in the last year or so to decrease the amount of medications that I take. So I'm going to go now. Goodbye. Follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, and subscribe to my channel and share the word, because I might be broken, but I'm getting better. Goodbye.